Damn, that right there is a badass mustache. So it's been a minute since we've done G.I. Joe on this channel, and I just happened to pick up Jungle Recondo. I also got Duke and Scarlet. We'll be going over them a little later, but for right now, he is straight up the star of the show. I love Jungle Recondo, but for two reasons that have nothing really to do with Jungle Recondo. One, I like the movie The Predator. We've actually talked about this before when I talked about the first Jungle Recondo. I personally feel like this character is almost beat for beat. I mean, he just looks like he just looks like Jesse Ventura from Predator. Like, every time I look at this guy, that's what I see. Like, I don't know why, but that's what I feel like this is. I can't say who copied who, because I don't know the history that well, but that's what I get every time I look at this. And the other thing that comes to my mind every time I see Jungle Recondo is I was a huge fan of Action Figure Therapy. I used to watch that all the time and laugh all the time. And now I own one, but a modern version of that. And I love it. It may be a stupid reason to have bought Jungle Recondo, but I don't care. That's why I bought him. But I am interested in one thing. How does he compare to the other version, the first one? Is he just an egregious repaint? Let's see. So here we go. The issue with this card is I like it very much. I do. I very much like these kinds of packages. I love retro card back. It's what I grew up with. It's how I tend to love figures to be. This is perfect for inbox collectors. It has the hole up here if you want to put it on the wall. More than 100%, you can literally see 100% of what you bought. The piece count is all there. Everything about it is fantastic. I love them. I just love them. I think they're the best way to package almost literally any toy. But I will say this. In this aspect, this is not just a packaging choice. There's a reason for this. This, in terms of Joe's, this is what the retro line ships like, as opposed to what the classified line ships like. And that adds a little bit more purpose to my favorite packaging, and also gives it a little more definition. When we are going out of our way to obtain a G.I. Joe classified, we want this figure to be as close to retro but modernized as we can possibly get. This was the costume he wore, or at least as close to it as we could possibly buy, right here. This is Recondo reimagined today. This is Recondo imagined for Tiger Force Classified, and it is not the same thing. It is not the same thing. A lot of people see this and this isn't what they want. They want something classic, something modernized, but something very much exactly what they grew up with. Am I that kind of collector? No, I am not. But I do understand why this packaging means double when it comes to that. Because if you're buying G.I. Joes, you're either buying classified, classic, or both. And there is a difference depending on the collector you talk to. On the back, the cross-sell, this time I have all three. We will be talking about all three of them. I have all three of them. Let's open this guy. There he is. And just to get this out there, he is almost beat for beat an egregious repaint. I see almost nothing different. Mold-wise, it's all going to come down to the paint. I mean, and the paint will make a difference, but look, that's him, that's him. They're sporting the same face, slightly different skin tone in the face in terms of making it stick out. Of course, costumes painted different. The uniform, that's not a fair statement. Costume is not a fair statement. He even comes with all the same stuff. Like, this is exactly what it promises to be, while not necessarily being a bad thing. So, pistol, loaded. Good. Knife. Nope, turn that around. Loaded. Nice. Backpack. Loaded. Nice. Gun. In his hand. Nice. Stand, which is literally like the best part. I'm going to tell you something right now. I honestly get tired of buying stands for figures that should just come with stands. You are G.I. Joe. You have been doing stands for as long as I have been buying them. All your Joes should just come with stands. No excuse. That is, for what it's worth, a nitpick that doesn't necessarily go against the figure, but I would claim that it's a valid point. Now, this guy, let's push that belt back down, get it in position here. Looking at these two guys, let's move them over here. Hat. Okay, that's different. It's not by much, but the hat, if it could be the same type of rubbery plastic, but it doesn't feel exactly the same. It goes on his head, no issues. Goes on his head. We got the hats. We're not experiencing any kind of problem like that. But it did feel weird. It doesn't feel exactly like the other hat does. I'm not sure if that has something to do with the paint, or if maybe it was a little thinner. Maybe it was an idea, maybe this hat sticks to his head or something like that, or people had trouble putting the hat on. I never did. Like, the hat's off, the hat's on. It fits perfectly. The hat's off. It feels different. Like, it literally feels different. But the hat, there it is. It's on. I don't feel it's as snug. It's not his head. It's not his head. It is the hat. I don't know what's going on, but they changed the hat. I don't know if it's been made cheaper or what, but the hat is different, is not the same. I could turn the hat. No, because then it's backwards. I don't want it to be backwards. Hat is different. I'm saying it. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right here. The hat is different. Nothing else have I realized or noticed is different in a way that bothers me at all. And like I said, these figures should come with stands. They should. I'm an absolute stickler for that. Otherwise, this is a repaint. But But, and so mine right here, that's solid. He's real solid. That's real nice. The one that I got just recently, that seems a lot looser. It's not giving me any troubles, but like I can feel that, like, see, it's falling back. Wobble, 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 wobble. That shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be that loose. And really, this stand could have been a little bit better. I feel like the retros, and this almost doesn't even make sense to me, because all they had to do was send out another guy, right? They just had to repaint him and send him out the exact same, because I don't see any differences here. I will say this, though. Even though I'm not coming across any differences, I'm not detecting anything that makes me go, oh, that's really different. I like him better. I like original Recondo better. I think his boots are a little bit better. There's more color differential. And that can and does mean something. I like his weapons better. They're black. Black and gunmetal. I realize these are plastic weapons, so we're not too hardcore about it, but I just feel like they're better. I like this desert-esque gear more color-wise. I wish he was every bit as sturdy as him. He's not. Now, this could be just the one that I got. That doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed hit against the figures in general. And I also think that once I get moving him around and everything like that, it really won't matter. But maybe it will. Maybe it'll matter even more. Because if he's already kind of loose, and then you figure he'll loosen up as I play, that could be a problem. So as I do photo shoots and mess around with him and do like little skits and things like that, he could end up loosening up. That could be a problem. So one possible issue, but otherwise just a repaint. So we do have to ask, is this just a cheap reuse issue with the line? Is G.I. Joe Classics held back by simply being reissued repaints with very little effort? Well, no. Now, I've only had a chance to review Lady J in terms of the retro line against Lady J of the Classics, and Recondo against Recondo. Otherwise, when I have opened Classics or Retro, I haven't had the chance to compare them to their classified counterparts. But I'll tell you this. I know by looking at Scarlet that when they're different, they're different. I don't think this is a mark against the retros. See, the retros are exactly what they said they were going to do. It's a retro version of the same thing. In fact, we can see that on something like Snow Serpent. Snow Serpent is very different retro card back. Personally, I think so. He's different retro card back than he is classified. And I would argue, though some people would argue against me, I would argue he's better in classics. Or he's better in classified. Sorry, he's better in classified. I don't know why I keep saying classics. He's better in classified. I think so, anyway. We're all gonna feel differently about certain things. That is the way it is. But what I'm saying here is that certain characters getting the retro treatment, they're just going to be this. Some will be different. Some will get slightly different body caps and things like that will change. Like Scarlet in general is one of them that you got to think about. She goes like, she's almost a complete character flip. Like, she's different. She is different. And when I open her up, we'll talk about that. And Duke, I believe, is pretty well different. Not like extreme. I guess I don't know. I was never able to get classified Duke. But in terms of Recondo, when they reimagined Recondo for classified, one could argue they didn't go far enough. Like, he really is just Jungle Recondo in the Tiger Force color. That's it. That's all he is. Like, they didn't try to alter his getup almost at all. If you took an original G.I. Joe and sat him next to Recondo right there, you would say, oh, okay, I see, it's Recondo, but he's different colors. And he's a modern figure. And now, in order to give people what they wanted in terms of the retro line, they fixed the colors. Fixed being argumentative. Now, I will say this. I like him more than him. I wish my body wasn't screwed up. But I like the retro more than I like the Tiger Force. That's personal preference, because this is a straight up He-Man level repaint. That's what that is. That is a straight up He-Man level repaint. Is that a bad thing? No. No, because when the characters are legit different, they're different. When the retro line comes out and does a figure, and that figure is meant to be different, it is different. Like when Classified comes out and reimagines somebody, and he or she really gets reimagined, you see the difference. And then some people get up in arms and they go, that's not the way the original character looked, and blah, 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 blah. But that's not what you're buying. If you're buying Classified, you're buying reimagined figures, which then you could argue that the retros need to look more like the originals, which in this case they absolutely do. But that means that the Classified should look different enough to warrant that it is a different thing you are buying. Right? This is an argument you could have against the line, that the two are not different enough. We've had this argument with things like X-Men 97. It confuses me when people buy Gambit or any other character from X-Men 97, and then they say, this isn't what I wanted. This Gambit's, he looks like a cartoon. That's what you bought. That's not their fault, that's your fault. Know what you're buying. Know what it represents. Know what it's supposed to be. Know what the artistic expression or idea or concept was that you were buying into. If you don't like a certain Ninja Turtles, if you don't like the 2013 Ninja Turtles, you don't go out and buy a 4-set of the 2013 Ninja Turtles. Why would you do that? And then argue, these aren't the Turtles I grew up with. I was wanting them to very much be the Turtles I grew up with. Then you're a fool. You're a fool for having bought it that way, because it was never meant to be that in the first place. But these are a little different. We expect the retro to be retro. Jungle Recondo retro, perfect. Literally perfect. I don't think they could have done much better. That's him. That's the original G.I. Joe I grew up with. Jungle Recondo Classified. He's exactly the same. I think that Classified needs to go out of its way at times to guarantee the reimagination. Not that they have to go completely overboard, but one could argue that if you look at the Snow Serpent, you'll see what I'm talking about. Both the Snow Serpent retro and the Snow Serpent in terms of classified, you can tell who that's supposed to be. But you can tell that there's different ideas here. Classified, complete New Age reimagining. Retro card back, a modern version of the figure we grew up with. Same argument for Scarlet. Retro card back, that is a modernized version of the figure we grew up with. Classified Scarlet is a reimagining of that figure in modern day. So they stand very much apart and seem very much different, but you can tell what they're supposed to be. I don't know. There is argument to be made here. And for people that are collecting everything, this could be a nuisance. You're starting to feel like you're buying repaints. For people that only collect retro, this doesn't mean anything. You just wait it off and you buy the figure you always meant to buy. For people that are collecting only classified but remember the stuff that they wanted that never quite feels quite like that because they're buying classified and it is not meant to be that, maybe that's bothersome. And at the same time, if you're buying classified and you're like me and you feel that these are modern interpretations of the figures, then when they don't change enough, is that a problem? I'm not here to answer that question. I'm just saying that it strikes me that after seeing this guy and seeing just how much of an egregious repaint he really is, it did get me thinking. But personally, the win here goes to that jungle. I like that jungle. Probably because it's tied to my childhood. Anyways, guys, I added Jungle Recondo to the shelf. I may sound like I'm talking a lot of but all in all, I'm very happy to have him. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.